So now you've had an introduction. What is art? And hopefully you've gained some insight into the role, or I should say the many roles, of art in society. Now we're going to look at the actual art, or more accurately, the parts of art. The visual elements and the principles of design. These are the actual nuts and bolts of art making, and they give us a foundation for the language that we use to talk about art. So I want you to be sure and pay attention to the terms that are introduced here. This is language that you will need throughout the course, and this will help you to look at art and to have a deeper understanding and appreciation for art throughout your life. Okay, so just to be clear, when we talk about the elements of art, we are talking about the individual pieces and parts that make up an artwork. And when we talk about the principles, we're talking about how these pieces work together in order to produce a given effect. Let's start with the elements of art. These are the visual tools that artists use to create a composition. As you are researching these ideas, you'll find that the lists vary slightly, but the basic elements are line, shape, color, which is a big one, value, texture, space, and a new one to the list is time. The idea of time as an element of art relates to motion, art that moves, as well as our movement through art, or the way that our presence or absence can change a work of art. How else can you think of that time can be an element of art? Okay, so now we have all the pieces and parts, the elements, then we have to figure out how to put them together. This is where the principles of design come into play. The principles represent how the artist uses the elements of art to create an effect or to convey their ideas. Again, there is some variation in the lists, but the basic principles of design are unity and variety, balance, emphasis, scale and proportion, and rhythm or movement. There's another idea that I want you to consider as you begin to think about the principles of design. That is, how do our brains understand images? How does perception work? It seems like an important thing to know when you are creating images or trying to understand why a particular image looks like it does. Lucky for you, there have been some psychologists working on this very question. In the 1920s, a group of psychologists in Germany developed a series of theories about visual perception. They are called Gestalt psychology. These theories provide clues to the ways that our brains organize visual information, and they form the basis of many of the design rules that we follow today. Okay, I think that's all for this section. The pieces and parts, how they are put together, and why. Yep, that's it.